This week, Grandma has gone to see Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Now, it's a lot of monsters.
Yes.
It's not just Godzilla. It's got monsters, lots of monsters. And, you know, Grandma knows Godzilla pretty well. I don't think she knows in any of the other monsters in this movie. So she's going to have to, you know, she's going to have to catch up on these monsters here pretty quickly. And, you know, maybe it's one monster too many for Grandma. I don't know. We'll have to find out. Grandma's back at the movies again. I'm going to always remind you to please subscribe to our channel so you won't miss any of our reviews of any of the new movies. And please give them a like, right, Grandma? Give them a like if you like the video, so we know that you like it. And also please comment on our videos because we love to read your comments and we love to comment on your comments. This week, Grandma went to Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Now, this is the sequel to the Godzilla movie that we had a few years ago, which was a pretty good movie, and it ended up with Godzilla fighting some big bad monsters and destroying much of San Francisco, if I recall. This film takes place, I think, about 5 years or so after the first one, if I remember correctly.
Well, it's later, yeah, 5 years.
I think it's about 5 years from what they said. And it turns out that there's some super secret organization that has been monitoring all these monsters that are basically all sort of in hibernation around the world. And a eco-terrorist type wants to basically wake them up and bring them all back to life and have them kill a bunch of the people in the world and sort of what they term bring balance to the world. It seems not a very good idea to most of the people, but that's the way it is. Godzilla is, again, sort of our good bad guy, and we hope that Godzilla will defeat the biggest and the baddest of the monsters, which is Monster Zero, or also King Ghidorah. It's also called. This is a three-headed sort of Hydra monster, which is pretty nasty.
Yes.
And there are other monsters that they have to deal with too, and it's, you know, it's a lot of monsters around, and the people running around. And what do you think, Grandma?
Well, as you say, there were a good deal of monsters.
Yes.
To take up the time, some time in the story, Godzilla, of course, is our good monster. And the people that are in some ways contact with him, you know.
Sort of.
They're always somehow in danger. By the end of this chapter in Godzilla's very active life.
You're not going to tell the ending, are you?
Am I not going to tell the ending? I'm not going to tell the ending.
No, you're not going to tell the ending.
Okay. But
What'd you think of the movie, Grandma?
It kept my attention. I was very interested in, you know, how they were going to manage this. Our humans had all kinds of technical, I don't know exactly how to call it, but they had technical knowledge that they were using in trying to control the monsters. And it was not easy. We had a young heroine that we were concerned about. We wanted to be sure that she was okay, and her dad and her mom, and the story kind of focused on the effect of Godzilla and all the other monsters were having on this particular family. You know, they kind of stood for humanity, the human race.
Well, they were in the first movie.
Yes. Yeah. So we recognized them. You know, the same actors, the same situation. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very interesting.
Really? What did you like about it?
I like the imagination that is shown in creating all these different monsters. I thought, okay, you know, I can see the movie makers sitting around their planning table saying, okay, now we've got Godzilla. Now what what other kinds of monsters should we have in his world?
Well, these are all actually monsters from the original Japanese Godzilla films.
Are they?
Almost all of them, yes. And again, I think their challenge was to make them more realistic and believable than the sort of rubber-suited Godzilla monsters from the Japanese films. Which again, with the advances in special effects and stuff, I think they were pretty good at doing. They made them pretty believable.
Well, you mean the big three-headed
Yes.
Hydra? Yeah, he was pretty scary.
Yes, he was in a Godzilla movie.
He was pretty scary.
And then Rodan and Mothra, they were all in different Japanese monster movies.
And some of the human characters knew their names and used their names for us, you know.
Yeah.
So we knew exactly which monster we were talking about. What did you think?
I really liked it. I was really impressed by it. Again, it's in a way similar to the first one in that you didn't really have all that much of the monsters. It was a lot of the people. Again, the first one of the complaints that people had was that there wasn't enough Godzilla. There was a lot of the people, and they're sort of dealing with, you know, there being a Godzilla and these other monsters and stuff like that. And the same thing with this one. Again, the people are going all over the world to different places and dealing with different monsters, and them waking up and destroying stuff and fighting and you know, what do we do and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So there was a whole lot of that. So again, it really was a film focused on the people and their dilemmas, and you know, because you know, in a way, the monster fights are the monster fights. You know, and
Yes.
if the special effects are good, they're going to look pretty good and they're going to be pretty exciting.
But this one had monsters waking all over the world.
It did, yes.
Everywhere.
And again, those monster fights were pretty good. So again, but you have the monster fights, and again, they're just again, even in this film, a small percentage of the majority of the movie. You really had to make the human characters and the human situations and what they were doing interesting, and I think they were successful
And
at doing
believable.
that. And believable. And again, I thought they were pretty successful at that. One thing that I thought was particularly well done, and it's the scriptwriters and the directors' ability to do this, which is what was I think showed really well in this film, was all the layers that they had of action and story, sort of one on the other, and because so many things in some cases were going on at one time that, you know, it was a little hard to follow, but you know, you could follow it. But again, it was a lot of excitement, a lot of stuff going on, and I thought it was again really well done. Making a film of this scale, where there's just so much destruction and so much action and so many monsters and stuff like that, to make it all seem believable is, again, I think quite an achievement, and I think they did it. It was just amazing to watch, and I really enjoyed it. What did you think?
I did too. I really enjoyed it, and you're right. There were so many layers of action, and they did a really good job in keeping us tuned in, you know, to each layer, and the human characters, the human people who were working with Godzilla.
So what would your final rating on this one be?
Well, I'm still waiting for that 2-thumb movie, but this one is at least a thumb and a half.
Thumb and a half. Okay, well that's fine.
It's pretty high on the scale. It's very enjoyable, very well done. The acting was good. The script, you know, was kept us surprised of what was going on. The monsters that were created were very interesting, and
well, I guess Godzilla will have to be happy with a thumb and a half.
Okay, a thumb and a half for you, Godzilla. We enjoyed it.